Hey guys, it's Cece, and we are at Fanix. I am here with C.B. Lee, author of Not Your Sidekick, Not Your Villain, 7 Tears at High Tide.
Yay!
Yay! And we're going to be talking about the series, characters, and nerdy stuff in general, because we're at Fanix, Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, and I was so happy to see that we were able to connect and do this video while we're here. And this is my booth while I'm here.
Yes, look at all the flags. It's lovely here.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It's my sign. Look.
It's beautiful over here. So today we are answering questions about characters from the Sidekick Squad series. I have some stuff written down. They're just fun get to know you questions about the characters, so you can get to know them better and maybe, and not necessarily spoil these books, just talk about characters, get people interested in the series. So what movie would your 4 main characters camp out at midnight to go see?
So in the series there's a fictional series called Vindicated, which is like a mashup of Fast and Furious and all the James Bond movies. So that would be Jess's favorite. She would bring all her friends, and Bells would be like, yeah, and Emma would be like, I don't understand, but yeah, because she thinks it's cheesy. And then Abby would just be like, sure, yeah, because she probably isn't a fan, but she becomes a fan through osmosis with her friends. And then in real life, they would love all the Star Wars. I feel like they would definitely camp out for Star Wars and the new Star Wars series, Pacific Rim, punching monsters in the face. They would love that. Definitely. And Bells is also a huge fan of a fictional series that I invented in the book called The Gentleman Detective. But I remember, yes. But that's basically, I imagine that's like Sherlock Holmes meets Leverage, but with a trans main. So that fictional series is what he would line up for and bring all his friends. And I think they would just love all things nerdy, like Doctor Who, Star Wars. What's funny is that Star Wars actually also exists in the fictional universe in the Sidekick period, but it exists in the way that because it's 100 years since and then all pre-collective media has been banned. So. That includes Star Wars and Harry Potter and all that. But there is a secret group of nerds dedicated to watching all of these films and reading these books. So they meet in secret to
still watch the movies that they gotta watch.
They are the resistance, and they basically are nerds.
I feel like this is the appropriate place to be talking about such a collective.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, then related to that, I had a question about Emma, which it's somewhat similar, but if she was going to binge a series, then what is she going to stay up all night binging? I feel like she would binge Planet Earth, and because Emma, you kind of get a hint of it in a little bit in Sidekick and Villain, but these are, so they're from Jess's perspective and Belle's perspective, so you don't get to see a lot of Emma's specific nerdiness. But Emma is a huge space nerd. She loves, her dream is to go to Mars and bring back the space program. Okay. But she, since the collective and in this fictional post-dystopian world, the space travel isn't possible anymore, but she's totally determined. She's like Hermione. She's gonna bring it back. She's a total Gryffindor. I mean, she does have that Ravenclaw streak in her, and she's, so as far as fictional series and she's more of I'm into this because my friends are into it, but she doesn't have a specific, one true fandom or anything. But this is her thing. Yeah. The way that everyone else says. Space is her thing. Space is her thing. I love that. So then, if you had to pick, and this is kind of an intense one, if you had to pick a character, one character from from Harry Potter, that's most similar to any of your main characters, is there sure, because I know that we've talked before about characters having Hogwarts houses and how their books kind of match their Hogwarts houses. That was intentional. So Emma would be the most like Hermione, right? Like I said. I feel in some sense Jess would be like Harry because she has that kind of, determination and stubbornness, but also she can put the big pieces together, but she might miss some small details. Okay. And I feel like Bells would be he's a Slytherin to me, and he's very,
I want to say like Draco Malfoy, but specifically like my fandom interpretation of Draco.
Our fan in Draco.
Yeah. Draco had so much potential we really examined like where he stood and like his kind of own morality, and I feel like that's been really explored very well in a lot of fan fiction. And so specifically Draco characters where he's this like snarky kind of like, you know, I'm not always here to do what you think is the right thing, but I'm going to do it because I'm in support of my friends and what I think is the ultimate like just cause in my opinion. Right. And I think Abby would be more of like a Remus. Okay. Because, you know, like a Remus Lupin, but she's Ravenclaw. But there's character-wise, you know, in Harry Potter, there's so many great characters. But Abby is definitely like logical, and she's the one in the friend group who would be putting together that kind of plan and methodically figuring things out and engineering solutions.
Yeah, cool. So if Bells could shapeshift into any one person for a day.
From our universe? From their universe?
I was originally going to say from our universe, but now I kind of want to open up the floor. But, like, who would he transform into for that one day?
Well, it's interesting because he can. Yeah. For the whole day, or for most of the day. Yeah. So for Bells, it's an interesting question because he can be like, well, I can be this person this day. I can be this person any other day.
Right, which is such a cool concept.
Yeah, and it's one of his power, and it's really fun to write Bells because he's an incredibly powerful character who doesn't realize it. So he's incredibly powerful and can shift for like, you know, like a day if he wants to, because he has, you know, because he's like, oh, I forgot my binder for the day, and so I'm going to do this and shift. I feel like if he wanted to, he would probably shift into his favorite character from The Gentleman Detective. Yeah. So he would be like, look at me, I'm this cool, awesome detective. But I feel like he would also play a lot of jokes on his friends. Like in Not Your Villain, he shifts into Abby just for fun.
Which I loved. Which of your 4 main characters do you think would be the absolute best on Instagram? Who would kill it on Instagram?
Emma, no doubt. Emma? She would, because she's very fashionable too, and she loves like planning her outfits, and I think she would have a great aesthetic. So her Instagram would be like outfit of the day and like cool sceneries and like me and my friends, and then Jess's Instagram would be like pictures of her food and pictures of her friend and her and Abby, and she would want to make sure like everyone was included. So you would probably never see like only selfies of Jess. You'd see on the Bells, you would probably see lots of selfies of like himself and like, look at my hair today, this is what I did.
I was gonna say hair pictures probably.
Yeah. So he would have like, or maybe he would have no whole Instagram dedicated to like hairstyles and like what he's doing that day, and then his other Instagram would just be like pictures other people have tagged of him.
I love that. That's fabulous. I was curious, if Jess had a YouTube channel, what would her videos be about?
Conspiracy theories, probably. I feel like it would be a combination of conspiracy theories and also just Jess probably talking about her favorite like movies and music. In their universe, she would probably want to be like, hey, like during the Resistance, this is what we have to do. Like that's kind of what's happening in the next book, where they're kind of trying to find a way to spread the word basically to the greater public. But I think here, if it was her channel in our universe where there wasn't sort of this huge epic superheroes conspiracy, I feel like she might have like a cryptid channel where she would be like, I love like, hey, I'm gonna go looking for Bigfoot or like Mothman.
Oh, that is fabulous. Just vlogs about searching the world for cryptids is the best thing I can imagine. Yeah, and she'd be able to find them.
Yeah, and it would be like blurry, and then you'd probably see like Abby in the background like, what's happening?
You know, I feel like if Jess is going to use her power for something that's not resistance related,
find all the cryptids.
It would just be like, okay, where's Bigfoot? And then just go tracking that way.
Yes.
Well, so you mentioned the next book. So moving away from this a little bit, do you have anything you want to tell us about the next book?
Sure.
Which is Not Your Backup, which is going to be about Emma.
Yes. Not Your Backup picks up where Not Your Villain leaves off. And it really, at the end of Not Your Villain, you kind of see all of our, where we are, where we have to start the Resistance now. We are the Resistance. And Emma kind of takes lead, where she's very confident in her ability to plot and to come up with plans and what she's going to do. And so the story kind of revolves around her journey and finding her own place, not only in the resistance, but kind of overall, because, you know, among her group of friends, she's the only one who doesn't have superpowers, and she doesn't have metahuman abilities. And so she runs into some tension with other members of the resistance, other members of like the Heroes League of Heroes and the government at large, just as, you know, we learn why she's like a level 5 threat in book 2, and we learn about how she navigates all of that.
Oh, that's so exciting. And I don't know how much you can tell us, but I know that we started maybe learning about Emma being aromantic, asexual. Is that going to be like
Yes.
it?
So definitely alongside her journey in finding her place in the resistance is also finding her place in the asexual and aromantic community. So Emma is questioning, and she's also learning more about where she falls on the asexual spectrum and the aromantic spectrum, and how that kind of plays into her relationship, now romantic relationship with Bells. I'm really excited to be able to write her, because I'm demi-romantic, and so being able to write a character who shares that aspect of my identity, also as she gets to explore, like, you know, what that means to her, and she gets to meet lots of different aces and arrows in her journey, and, you know, kind of I just really wanted to show that, like, hey, these amazing people exist, and they exist in all these different ways.
I'm so excited. I've already been excited for this book for months, but that makes my heart really happy. Since we were just talking about Emma, then I do have another question.
Okay.
If Emma had a most played artist on her Spotify, your the book universe or our universe, who would it be?
I actually made a playlist for Emma. It's on my Spotify. If you search me, author C.B. Lee, you can find all my character playlists.
And I've definitely listened to the ones that were already there. I love them.
So Emma, I think, would be a big fan of Janelle Monáe.
Oh.
Beyonce, Rihanna, like Indigo Girls, Tegan and Sarah. I think she would also really like a lot of like classic rock too, like Pink Floyd, and she would be very specifically nerdy also about music.
So, which of your characters, it could be the 4 or of all of them, is most likely to just stay up all night clicking that next chapter button on the fan fiction they pulled up when they should have been going to sleep?
So probably the most fandom-y people, Jess and Bells.
Yeah.
So because they have their particular favorite fandoms, and Jess, I think, would write fan fiction because she's a writer and she loves writing stories, and she would be a writer and a reader, and Bells would also be a reader. And they would definitely be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to sleep, but I found this 100K fic and I'm going to do it.
Halfway through, they realize it's unfinished and they're like, no. Okay, and then we can wrap it up on this one. Okay. Which of your characters would you most love to hang out with at a sleepover?
I would love to hang out with the entire Sidekick squad at a sleepover because they're just so much fun. And they, like, I've written sleepovers in the book where they just like chill and throw pillows at each other and basically watch all their favorite movies and eat a bunch of junk food. In the book, like, basically Jess's basement is like their designated headquarters where they hang out, and like they've got all their posters decorated. It's a spot like just for them, and it's really one of those moments I really want to show, like, hey, here's a group of friends who are, you know, everyone's queer, and it's kind of like, I think one of an interesting review or something, someone was like, oh, it's kind of unrealistic that there's, like, you know, like one person maybe, but like all these people. And I was like, well, we kind of like flock together, we find each other, we find your family, and it's not unrealistic to have everyone in a friend group be queer. And it's really, you know, I kind of drew a lot on like my own friendships and like the jokes that we tell each other, and like how much fun it is just to like hang out with your friends. And that's really like the heart of like the Sidekick Squad series for me, because it's about friendship and saving the day and learning, you know, who you are and becoming a hero in your own right.
No, and that was definitely, you know, like, that has been my through line through reading these books too, has always just been like, their friendship is so fantastic and so real, and I love
thank
that.
you.
So I understand. I would also love to hang out with all 4 of them at a sleepover. Well, I think that is where we're going to wrap up for now. everyone, please, 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 if you haven't already, check out the Sidekick Squad and 7 Tears at High Tide. Look out for Not Your Backup, which is
2019.
2019.
I can't give you a date yet.
Right, but I did see 2019. Yes. But so excited. If you love superheroes and friendship and queer kids being happy and saving the day, you should definitely be reading these books. Thank you so much for filming this. And
thank you for joining me. Yay,
cool.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.